second question. First question, to avoid what happened last time. Are you familiar with that guy, Gurdjieff?
Yeah.
Okay. Then the question is, when you were reading 443DE, it sounded like he was talking about all these multiple ones within the psyche.
Mm-hmm.
That's the guy who really pulled it all together, had sort of bound up the three qualities and then
Mm-hmm.
pulled all together, all his ones into one.
Mm-hmm.
And that Gurdjieff, he sort of talks about all the ones sort of, every once in a while taking hold of you in a random manner. He says to just look at yourself all the time. If I understood what he's talking about, he's saying just watch yourself all the time, and then after a while, if you keep watching, you do it steadily, all that stuff dissolves, and then you have one self.
Yeah.
Is he pulling that out of Plato, or are they just two same ideas?
See, when someone has it that succinctly, I think you might be able to infer it from Plato. But that looks much more like influence from a wide variety of sources, especially Sri Rama Maharshi would be very close, and in that same age, and also certainly in Neoplatonism, the latter part of Neoplatonism, rather than Plato. Because, let me give an example, and in Buddhism, of course. What is it that sees and hears at this very moment? Right? Like right now, what is it that's seeing and hearing? So keep yourself right in the moment. Right now, what is seeing? Forget everything else. What's seeing right now? And the fun thing would be, if you were able to grasp that, would you use terms like the one? Basui, 15th century Buddhist, right? His last words before he died was, hey, look directly. What is this? Same thing.
Look directly.
Look directly. What is this? So that theme runs through very succinctly and clearly, and I think it can be found in other traditions than Plato. I'm not sure whether...
It would seem that in a person who's come out of Western culture, because it would seem unlikely that a person could have avoided the thinking of Plato, even though they may not have read Plato directly, but it would seem that the progression of philosophical thought in Western culture would have come through. Not that these ideas are necessarily original with Plato, but they would have come through Plato to be considered and refined upon or discarded as concepts.
Yeah, sometimes they make a distinction between book religions and non-book religions. Revealed religions, Zoroaster, Judaism, Christianity, Islam, they have book religions, and if their books were to disappear entirely, there would be no basis to restore them. But in non-book religions, you find a commonness that is present throughout history. And you could destroy all of those works, and someone could rediscover the same thought in different forms, and you could easily reconstruct it. Those are the two different ways of looking at book religions and non-book religions. So yes, I think you're right. I think one of the most important questions you're raising is whether or not we can see behind Plato that there must have been a vast and profound tradition, because he comes so full and complete when he enters into literature, which was just beginning in those days.
I want to ask about Plato and Pythagoras. Is there any relation between Socrates and Pythagoras? Because all this theory of number, etc. is extremely Pythagorean.
Yes, and he does very often use people's names in his dialogues that were Pythagoreans, like the two major thinkers in the Phaedo, and in other places.
What was
And
Socrates'
certainly the
teacher? What was
Timaeus. The
she-
Timaeus has a lot of
Yeah,
numerology.
but what was the background of Socrates' teacher? We don't know anything.
No.
Has anybody else written about her? Because other people wrote about Socrates, but has anybody
Yes.
else wrote about Socrates' teacher other than Plato?
Many people want to say that when Socrates references his teacher, it's a myth. He just made it up. Other people say, no, it must have existed. And the reason, perhaps, why there's such a difficulty in it, is not only because he always has a lot of fun, and you never know sometimes when he's being literally true or not, is the fact that he mentions that his teacher was a woman.
Exactly, yes.
And you have to be careful about that. I mean, you don't want to give too much credit to women. So his teacher was Diotima of Mantinea, who was a very, very magnificent appearing woman. And so many scholars want to say, oh no, that could never be, that could never be, but I don't know.
Having gone through academic philosophy and made it out without losing my mind, this idea of the Republic being something of a full theory of the state or something like that is really pervasive in academia. And it seems to me kind of ironic. It seems that if you push the Republic into some sort of manifestation, just by doing that itself, you're pushing yourself below the divided line.
That's right.
You're trying to create a set of beliefs and images, and somehow or another handle Plato as that, which is some kind of concrete idea, and then you'll search around history and look for certain people who may or may not be that. And if you do find people in history, I would find that they're probably not very famous to start with, and that they are quite introspective and contemplative people, so that they can use the analogy here, because once you say, okay, this is Plato's theory of the state, then you're already stuck in the world of images and beliefs.
Sure.
You're not going to go anywhere.
I think your point is well taken, that if you were to try to bring this into reality, Socrates would have come by and said, hey, excuse me, before you do that, why don't you bring yourself into a oneness? And if you do, maybe you won't be foolish enough to try to build something. But I think the people who have a lot of fun with this concept are the Taoists. And the Taoists, there's stories of people discovering a wise man and trying to bring him into the public arena and make him a public magistrate, and they hide and they run away and they don't want to be caught. Okay. All right. Good. Thank you. Thank you. A lot of fun. And I can only leave you with the question of what's the one?
I know.
Good.
One more than zero.
Thank you very much.
It seems like
Okay.